Mercury in Libra. Welcome to episode 5 of your birth chart reading. So far, we've talked about the planets of the self, the sun, moon, and rising. Those 3 placements tell us about who you are inside and out. The next 3 planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, are called the inner planets. These planets orbit closest to Earth, so have a heavy influence over how we handle the main aspects of our everyday lives. They tell us about how you express your sun, moon, and rising signs through your everyday activities. Mercury, you may remember from when we talked about your sun sign, Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, planet of thoughts, intellect, and communication. Mercury essentially rules the mind. It shapes how we think, how we learn, how we exchange ideas, how we process new information, and, of course, how we communicate. I'm sure you've heard of Mercury retrograde, or Mercury in Gatorade, or Mercury in the microwave. People talk about the unpleasant side effects of Mercury when it goes retrograde, which happens a few times a year. When Mercury is retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards due to the different speeds of planetary orbit. It, of course, is not actually moving backwards. It just looks like it is if you're standing on Earth. But the pull on the energy feels just like that, like everything is backwards and upside down. Mercury rules thoughts and communication, and that's all forms of communication. So when retrograde happens, it feels like everything related to communication goes sideways. Travel plans get mixed up, emails don't go through, paperwork gets mixed up, we experience delays, misunderstandings, and overall miscommunication. That's just an example of Mercury influence in our everyday life. And because it's such a powerful influence, more and more people are beginning to pay attention to Mercury's position and will even plan events to align with specific placements and avoid retrograde timeframes. Now, when we're talking about your birth chart, your Mercury placement tells us about your mindset, sense of perception, and logical reasoning. It can indicate how you make sense of things and tell us what kinds of things you find interesting, what sparks your curiosity and offers intellectual stimulation. Your Mercury placement can also tell us about the sound of your voice. Your Mercury is in Libra, which we have not talked about yet. Libra is an air sign, and this placement for you is like a literal breath of fresh air. With your sun, moon, and rising in heavy earth signs, this influence of air brings lightness and playfulness into how you express yourself. Libra is the artist and the peacekeeper, motivated by love, relationships, and beauty. Libra energy wants to bring balance, harmony, and cooperation. Some of the best Libra qualities are good communication, mediation, an eye for aesthetics, and fair-mindedness. And just like your Taurus moon and rising, Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and art, and so far you have a really strong Venus influence in your chart, indicating that you are charming, cooperative, romantic, and attractive. It also tells us that you deeply value relationships, have a need to create harmony and ease, and are able to prioritize love and comfort in a healthy way. Venus is also the embodiment of divine feminine energy, and with that much divine feminine influence in your chart, you may consider yourself a feminist. You're likely to own your power as a woman, not being afraid to express that power, even if there are men running the show. Actually, especially if there are men running the show. All right, so let's see how your Mercury in Libra might be manifesting in your everyday life. Mercury in Libra wants balance and harmony, and will bring that to conversations and communication. You may be drawn to studying law or legal matters with Libra's strong sense of fairness and justice. You may also be drawn to advocating for disadvantaged groups, such as people of color, also women's rights, especially given the heavy influence of Venus in your chart, coupled with Libra's need to cultivate equality, peace, and fairness. With Mercury in Libra, you are naturally sociable, friendly, and charming. And when combined with your Taurus rising, which is also friendly and charming, you're like sunshine to the people around you. You are warm, likable, and you probably make people feel comfortable and at ease. Maybe people have said that you're easy to talk to, or they feel like they've known you for years, or that they feel right at home when they're with you. I know I personally felt that way when we first met. Mercury in Libra can become really good at social situations. You're able to make everyone feel heard and seen. You might also have the ability to get people who don't normally talk very much to open up and share their thoughts. There's a bit of an authoritative edge to Libra energy, which is the first masculine sign in your chart. Taurus and Virgo are both feminine signs, which indicates a more laid back, go with the flow kind of energy. Actually, more kind of like waiting to see what other people do and say first. But this Libra placement for your Mercury means that you are comfortable initiating communication and good at bringing other people out of their shells to gain their thoughts and perspectives. This is a beautiful energy to balance out your sun sign, since Virgo energy is not always exactly excited to hear what other people think. Sometimes Virgo can feel a little bit threatened by differing perspectives, but your Mercury in Libra gives you a deeper awareness of the value of having other people express their thoughts. Libra energy chooses to feel simply curious about the other person's ideas, which can indicate that you care about making sure you have a fair mindset, more than you care about holding tight to your own mindset. In this way, Mercury in Libra balances out any of the stubborn energy from your Taurus moon and rising, giving you a lot more flexibility when it comes to changing your mind. Mercury in Libra can indicate a gifted writer or speaker. With this placement, you have tremendous potential when it comes to using language in a beautiful way. Poems and short stories might be a good creative outlet for you, and you might enjoy reading stories that use beautiful and descriptive language, like romance or fantasy novels. Even if you're just writing an email for work or giving a quick impromptu speech, you come across as eloquent and intelligent. Mercury in Libra indicates that you have a beautiful voice, a charming way of speaking, and an infectious laugh. People probably enjoy listening to you speak and hearing what you have to say, regardless of what you're saying. Libra is the sign of relationships, so you may enjoy working with another person or small group. You might feel intellectually stimulated by socializing and have a need for consistent social interaction. With your Mercury-ruled Virgo sun and your Mercury in Libra, you have a big juicy brain and it might get bored very easily, so keeping yourself intellectually stimulated is important so you don't end up with stagnant mental energy. Working with a partner is very beneficial for you, especially if the other person can help you to direct your energy. Libra energy sometimes gets distracted and taken off task, so working with others can help you to stay engaged in the project. Mercury in Libra also finds creative inspiration when working with others. For example, you might sit down alone to write or work on something and come up blank. But then later on, while you're at dinner with a friend, a bunch of ideas may start to flow. A lot of people need isolation to tap into their creative juices, but Mercury in Libra is a little bit the opposite. Socializing is probably all around stimulating for you, emotionally, intellectually, and creatively. So Libra is a masculine air sign, which balances out all of this feminine earth energy of Taurus and Virgo. Libra is also a cardinal sign, which balances out the fixed energy of Taurus and the mutable energy of Virgo. In the very first episode, we talked about cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs, and now we can put that into context. Your Virgo sun is mutable. Mutable signs have flexibility, versatility, and adaptability. In terms of a project, mutable signs are the problem solvers, capable of innovative thinking. Your Taurus moon and rising are fixed. Fixed signs are resistant to change, crave routine and similarity. In terms of a project, they are the closers, the ones with the perseverance and commitment to get it over the finish line. And now we have some cardinal energy in this Libra placement. Cardinal signs are ambitious and outgoing. In terms of a project, they are the initiators, the ones who dive in head first and figure out the details as they go. Having your Mercury in a cardinal sign can indicate that you might be naturally good at public speaking, drawn to starting small social circles, or prone to trying a new hobby, especially one that allows you to use your voice creatively, like acting, singing, or writing. Mercury in Libra sometimes has issues with avoiding confrontation. So you may be the first one to notice that there's an issue and the first one that is ready to talk about it, but it's kind of tempered out by that harmonizing and balancing Libra energy. You might hold back from saying what needs to be said, afraid of making someone mad at you, afraid of disrupting the harmony in the relationship. Your charming Taurus rising is no help here either. Taurus energy is too tactful, and it prefers if you just bite your tongue rather than ruffle feathers. Mercury in Libra does not like arguments, so you may have gotten good at expressing criticism or defending your perspective in a way that's not offensive. That also means that sometimes you're not being direct enough. So if you find yourself in situations where you're not getting what you asked for from the people around you, Consider whether you were clear when you were communicating your needs in the first place, or if you were just being too damn nice. Mercury in Libra tends to be indecisive. Libra energy wants fairness and balance, so when it comes to making decisions, you might take a very long time to weigh all the aspects of the situation. Even then, you might find it almost painful to make a firm decision, especially if the decision will impact someone you care about. This is kind of doubled up energy from your Virgo sun. Virgo also wants to gather as much information as possible before making a decision. You may have adjusted to this throughout your life and gotten comfortable with letting other people make decisions. Maybe you choose not to make a decision at all and decide to just wait and see what happens. Practicing being more decisive will become important if you really want to tap into your manifestation ability. You have the potential for great manifestation power, but it really does start with knowing what you want. A lot of people know what they don't want, but have a hard time deciding what they do want. And we'll talk more about manifestation when we get to your Mars placement. The work for Mercury in Libra is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Learn to find your center and stay balanced, even if the conversation turns ugly and feelings get hurt. In episode 6, we will talk about Venus, which is all about love, pleasure, relationships, and art, including personal style. Your Venus is in Scorpio, and we'll explore what that means up next. See you soon.